Mic check. 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 6. What's going on, guys? How's it going? You guys ready to do this? All right. Hey guys, what's going on? Good afternoon and welcome to hashtag TNT JoeFi, tech news that Jerome Ortega finds interesting. I am your host, Jerome Ortega, and I just hit my mouth on this mesh piece. How's it going, everyone? I'm too close to the mic. Good afternoon to people in the U.S. Good morning, good evening to people everywhere else around the world. How's it going? Happy Friday. TGIF. Plans? Anyone? Plans for this weekend? My guess is usually no for most people, but hopefully you have something going on or something interesting is happening. And I thank everybody for making it to the show today. Or at least the people that are in here right now. And hopefully for anyone else that comes in. Let me get into chat here. And right away, I have a $1 super chat from Levin. Levin Williams, thank you so much, man. Again, I cannot thank you for your continued support. Always supporting in so many ways. So Levin, thank you so much, man. Glad you could make it to the stream. Okay, let me go back up here. And, you know, Levin was first in here. I think I'm going to do this thing where I just shout out who the winner is. Being first in stream, but Levin was first in here. Team Varai is in here as well, taking a break from working on content to tune into one of my favorite shows. Team Varai, thank you so much, man. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday to you as well, Team Varai. Hopefully you're doing better. Hopefully you're recuperating and everything's going well. But glad to see or glad to hear that you're working on content. So sounds like you're doing better. So hopefully things are on the up and up. Okay, Juan Carlos Montez. What's up, Jerome? What's up, Juan Carlos? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to TNT JoeFi. Mike Dixon's in here as well. I'm here. Glad to have you, Mike, working and have TNT JoeFi in the background. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you for the support, as always. For all you guys, always appreciate it. Paul Hendricks is in here as well. All the regulars are in here. Let's grab a beer, guys, and or if you want a shot. I'm more of a beer guy lately, but It would be great to kind of just have a big round table and talk tech and do a in real life thing maybe one of these days. Anyway, welcome, Paul. Nice to have you. Team Verizon says, always a pleasure to tune in. Well, thank you so much. Mike says, what about 6 to 10? What's 6 to 10? What am I forget? I lose track of things very easily, Mike. Please remind me. Doing better by the day. Thanks, Jerome. You're very welcome, Team Verizon. Just, again, if you need anything, feel free to holler. And hopefully just that recovery process keeps moving forward. So, my countdown. 6 to 10. Oh, I don't remember where I left count. I'll remember that for next time. Anyway, thank you, Mike. Selwonk is in here as well. OnePlus accidentally leaks hundreds of users' email IDs again. Yeah, I saw that. I was actually going to bring that up in chat today, or not in chat, but as an article. But I don't know how much time I'm going to get. But if I do, I'll pull it up. I did see that. Was it a couple hundred? Did they just forget to blind copy people? Did they just not BCC? I think that's what it was, right? Something like that. I don't know the specifics, but yeah, it's still a huge mistake. And it's when Salwonk says again, it's not the first time that they've done that. Salwonk, welcome to the stream, man. Mike says, Mike, check. Yeah, I got you, Mike. I know. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's get started. We're going to talk about the OnePlus 8 successor, which is most likely going to be the OnePlus 8T. Does that mean they're going to make a successor as well for the OnePlus 8 Pro? Is it going to be the OnePlus 8T Pro? So now instead of just one phone every 6 months, now they're going to have two. And then now they have the Nord, and they're just going to have a ton of devices, I think, from here on out. These are going to be the next Samsung company with 8 million phones and 8 million different formats. I wouldn't be surprised if they release another OnePlus 8T and a OnePlus 8T Pro. But this article from Android Central is saying that the OnePlus 8 Pro successor tipped to feature a 64 megapixel camera. I don't know what sensor this is coming from. I have no idea where they're getting this from in terms of the actual sensor, what other phones have had this camera sensor, but it says here OnePlus may also introduce a new gray ash color option for the Nord later this year. Okay, so an update and that's usually how most phone companies do. They'll put a couple colors out, and then when sales kind of like get stagnant, they'll go ahead and put a new color out. So what you need to know, a teardown of the latest 5.4.23 version of the OnePlus camera app has revealed that the company's next flagship phone might have a 64 megapixel main sensor. OnePlus's current flagships feature a 48 megapixel primary sensor. The OnePlus 8T series is likely to be unveiled sometime towards the end of the year. I know that my phone just went off, I think. The OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro, I know, use different main sensors, right? I don't know if they're both 48 megapixel, but I'm assuming that if they release a new sensor for the OnePlus 8T and the OnePlus 8T Pro, they're also going to be different. They're not going to be the same main shooters. I'm assuming they're both going to have different sensors on there, and the 8T Pro will have a better main sensor. Unless they do something different this time around, and maybe they'll give it the same main shooter. But the one thing I'm noticing lately is now the Pro, or like the Plus models, or the extra models, or whatever you want to call it, it seems like now they're adding a hefty telephoto lens in there. Something that I still have to put a camera test out, but to rival like what the S20 Ultra has, even though that's not the greatest, but like the Huawei P40 Pro Plus has an insane telephoto camera, and maybe that's what they're going to do for the 8T and the 8T Pro if that becomes a thing. So let's continue on. Earlier this week, OnePlus launched the Nord, its first budget-focused smartphone since the OnePlus X, which came out in 2015. It now appears the company has shifted focus to the OnePlus 8T series, which will likely debut sometime in September. So 2 months from now, now. We're already talking about a new OnePlus 8 series phone. Crazy. I feel like we've just been talking about the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro, and now the 8T and 8T Pro are probably coming down in the works. So, a teardown of the latest version of the OnePlus camera revealed that the company is working on adding 64 megapixel photo support. Since OnePlus currently doesn't offer a phone with a 64 megapixel primary camera, it's likely that it is adding 64 megapixel support for its upcoming flagship phones. As per the strings discovered in the camera app, the 64 megapixel mode will allow users to capture, quote, higher resolution images in well-lit scenes for better dynamic range. However, the camera app will recommend users to switch to 16 megapixel mode. The OnePlus 8 and 8 Pro, which have a 48 megapixel main sensor, although they're both different, capture 12 megapixel stills by default. Additionally, the strings have revealed that the burst capture feature will not be available when using the 64 megapixel mode. XDA developers also found a reference to a new, quote, gray ash color option for the OnePlus Nord in the engineering mode app included in the latest Oxygen OS builds. A leaked slide shared by Evan Blass ahead of the Nord's launch also listed gray ash as one of the 3 color options for the phone. So yeah, just a couple updates, or a couple, like, some news or tidbits of what could be coming for the new OnePlus 8 successor, which is most likely going to be called the OnePlus 8T and the OnePlus 8T Pro. I don't know how much different it's going to be. I don't know how much better it's going to be, but the only optimistic thing I can say about this is that if the 8T and the 8T Pro will be a thing in September, then all that means is that you can get the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro at probably a discount by that time. So if you're thinking about buying a OnePlus 8 or a OnePlus 8 Pro right now, maybe wait about a month and a half, and then you'll be able to probably buy this phone at a discounted price. Or if you're really looking for like a OnePlus 8T or a OnePlus 8, or yeah, if you're looking for the newer OnePlus 8 phones or 8T, 8T Pro, then you only have to wait a month and a half or 2 months or whatever. If you were planning on shopping for an 8 already. Either way, I think you win if you can just wait it out for a month and a half or something like that. So let me see here. Let me go back in here. Team Rai says OnePlus Nord T Pro. Yeah, what are they gonna call the successor to the OnePlus Nord? Is it gonna be the OnePlus Nord T? Are they gonna have a 6-month successor to the OnePlus Nord? That's gonna be a lot of phones, man. It's gonna be a lot of phones. I mean, Samsung's not even releasing phones every 6 months, but maybe they don't have to because they have so many different phones at this point. That they don't have to do every 6 months because they just have so many other devices coming down the assembly line. So okay, let's continue on here. There's a couple OnePlus Nord stories, but the one I want to talk about right now, and I want to ask people in chat, anyone who's listening, is let me ask you this question. The OnePlus Nord is here, but should you wait for the Pixel 4a? And that's a really good question because we have no idea when the Pixel 4a is coming out. And then there are people who are here in the States who will probably never get their hands on a OnePlus Nord. Or if they do, they're going to have to jump through hoops to really get access to getting this phone. But let's say, hypothetically, let's say the OnePlus Nord was available worldwide. Let's say the OnePlus Nord sold for $400 US. Hypothetically, let's also say the Pixel 4a was available today and you were able to buy the Pixel 4a for $350 to $400. Which one would you pick if you had to pick one? I know this is kind of a very hard question to answer because we don't know everything about the phones just yet, but as it is today, from what you know about the OnePlus Nord and what could possibly be the Pixel 4a, is there one that you would pick right off the bat? Is there something that you know that you would automatically pick? When I think about it, like if you were to ask me right now which one I would pick, I honestly think I might pick the Nord over the Pixel 4a. But I'll give you my reasons why. I want to see what Android Authority, right, has to say about it, and see if maybe if they feel the same way. Don't quote me on that. That could change at any moment in time. But I think right now, if you had to force me to pick one of these phones, I would probably pick the Nord over the Pixel 4a. So the OnePlus Nord is a statement phone, even if, quote, settling is okay, is the statement it makes. It might seem strange from a company that frequently says the opposite, but the phone looks like a treat on paper and won't burn a hole through your pocket. I guess I will interrupt and say that is probably why I would pick the Nord over the 4a, just plainly because of what is put down on paper. That doesn't mean that is the be all end all. That doesn't mean that that's how it should be, because what shows on paper doesn't always equate to the complete experience at the end of the day. That said, it's far from the only mid-range smartphone to consider in 2020. While OnePlus may want you to think it is, we're still expecting the Google Pixel 4a to make an appearance sometime this year. After all, the Pixel 3a remains an excellent reminder that you don't have to fork out thousands of dollars for a competent smartphone. So if you are in the market for a mid-range device in 2020, should you settle for the OnePlus Nord or hold off for the Google Pixel 4a? I have to add this in because now I'm looking at this, and so like I said, I would probably pick, if I had to pick today, I would probably pick the OnePlus Nord over the Pixel 4a. But if I had to pick the OnePlus Nord over the Pixel 4a 5G, if you're not familiar with that, the Pixel 4a 5G is supposedly a bigger version of the Pixel 4a, but with an even stronger chipset. So instead of the Snapdragon 730, it's a Snapdragon 765. And I believe it would be the 765G, the same chipset that is currently in the OnePlus Nord. If I had to choose between those two, I can almost be certain that I would be picking the Pixel 4a 5G if that was the case. But let's talk about this, and we'll have a conversation about it. So first, let's take a look at the OnePlus Nord, which wants to rope in budget-conscious power users. Aesthetically, the OnePlus Nord is a mild rework of OnePlus's design language. Unlike those centrally mounted camera arrays on the OnePlus 8 series, it's now moved to the top left of the Nord. On the Nord, internally, it features a Snap 765G, 3 different RAM and storage options available. So there's 6 gigs with 64 gigs of internal storage. That's a big no from me. Exclusive to the Indian market. So at a much cheaper price point at that. Users in Europe and India can grab the phone with 8 gigs or 12 gigs of RAM with 128 or 256 gigs of storage respectively. The Nord supports a 6.44-inch AMOLED screen with a 90 hertz refresh rate. An in-display fingerprint scanner is included too. And then it has the alert slider, a thick plastic chassis. The rear and back are covered in Gorilla Glass 5, volume rocker, power button, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Flipping it over, you'll find 4 rear cameras headlined by a 48 megapixel Sony IMX 586 sensor. There's an ultra wide, there's a macro, and then there's a depth sensor. And then 2 cameras up front, a 32 megapixel main selfie camera, and then a wide 8 megapixel shooter also up front. And then a 4115 milliamp hour battery. And then it also includes OnePlus's 30T warp charge system that can charge the battery from 0 to 70% in 30 minutes. And then just a bunch of other specs. Just trying to talk about that so we can kind of play the field of what the Pixel 4a will have. So in terms of the Pixel 4a, it will have a slower chipset, right? A Snapdragon 730. I'm pretty sure the build quality is going to be nowhere close to what the OnePlus Nord has. So that's a big plus for the OnePlus Nord. There have been suggestions. Oh, there we go. A Pixel 4a 5G variant may be in the works, which could feature more RAM and the same Snap 765G as the Nord. While RAM figures of 6 gigs have also been mentioned for possible Pixel devices, the 3A launched with 4 gigs of RAM. If you're looking for a device that'll provide the best multitasking experience, the Nord might be a better bet. Storage could be the source of the Pixel 4a's biggest performance jump. Google may trade the steady eMMC it used in the 3A for the faster UFS 2.1 in the Pixel 4a. As for size, the 4a will likely be a more compact device compared to the Nord. The Pixel 4a could feature a conservative 5.81-inch screen. We've been told that no Pixel 4a XL will make an appearance this year, but from what I've read, the Pixel 4a 5G will probably have a bigger display. I believe the Pixel 4a 5G might just be what the Pixel 4a XL could have been, but not only just bigger in display size, but also better in performance. So the Pixel 4a's smaller size may have an indirect effect on its battery. Rumors hint at a disappointing 3080 milliamp hour battery, which is decidedly small compared to most of the mid-range devices available at present. So finally, let's talk about those system updates. As a Pixel, the 4a will be among the first devices to receive key software updates and direct support from its creator, including new versions of Android and features exclusive to Pixels. I believe we all know this. So the Nord starts at €399, $462 for the 8 gig, 128 gig version. I know Deepak Murthy, who is a regular on my streams, was able to buy his OnePlus Nord in Italy for €369, so around $425 US, if I remember correctly. But if you're in India, you can grab one for 28,000 rupees, which is $375, which is a great price. You will get the smaller version, those 6 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of internal storage. But if you can live with that, $375, I think is a great price. Although if the upgrade for that, for 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage is only $400, I think that would be my choice instead. The Pixel 4a may actually be cheaper than the 3a, which launched at €399, further complicating your decision. I mean, the rumor is the Pixel 4a might be pricing at $350 US, which I think is an excellent price if it comes in at 6 gigs of RAM with 128 gigs of internal storage. Whatever that Pixel 4a 5G might be, the one with the Snapdragon 765G chipset, the one with more RAM, has yet to be seen what that would even price at, if it's even coming. On paper, though, the Nord seems like the obvious choice. It packs a faster chipset, more RAM, storage, a bigger battery, larger display, and more cameras than we expect to see from its competitor. And again, that's kind of why I am leaning towards buying the Nord if I had to pick one over the 4a. Again, if this conversation was talking about the Pixel 4a 5G, the one with the better chipset, the one with the larger display, the one with the bigger battery, that I feel like I would pick that over the OnePlus Nord. So the big crutch for the OnePlus Nord is its lack of availability in the US. OnePlus has stated the phone will not be offered in the US at large, making Google's upcoming phone all that more appealing. I mean, obviously, I think someone said it in my chat not too long ago. The Pixel 4a wins, obviously, in the US because the Nord isn't a thing here in the States. So it's kind of like the Pixel 4a wins by default. But in a theoretical situation where you could actually pick one of the two, and having them here right now, I think makes for a better conversation. If you're a patient human who loves snapping star trails or waiting for Google phones to launch, you may just want to hold out for the Pixel 4a. With it, you'll get a clean, swift Pixel software experience with support directly from Google. There's also the promise of a more refined imaging experience despite the fewer sensors. You may have to settle for longer processing times and worse performance if you're a gamer, but if you're big on capturing moments with your smartphone, the Pixel 4a is probably the no-brainer choice here. There's also the wild card that is the Pixel 4a 5G. Will it launch with better hardware than the standard edition? That remains to be seen. And really, that's the question: is how patient are you? I guess if you're in Europe or India, then the decision is obviously harder because the OnePlus Nord is available to you. You can go ahead and pre-order or order it now or whatever status it's at. I don't keep up because I don't have access to it. But if you're here in the States, you really don't have a choice unless you do want to jump through those hoops, unless you want to get some, like find a way to get it imported over, which I think would be pretty hard at this point, just because it's probably very high in demand. I think so. For me, I think I've said it many times now. If I had to pick right now, I would pick the OnePlus Nord over the Pixel 4a, but I would pick the Pixel 4a 5G over the OnePlus Nord. And the only reason I say that I would pick the Nord over the Pixel 4a is because of the better build quality, the better performance, the better battery, the display. And the only thing that I think that it would hinder on is the camera. But if the camera is, well, the camera and the software experience. So if the camera is, and the camera and the software experience are your priorities, which in a way it could be for me. I think it really depends on how good the camera is on the OnePlus Nord. But if anything, maybe it's just best to wait and see what reviewers say about the camera, how good the camera performs, and then make your decision there. Whether you want to pick that phone today or wait it out and see what the 4a 5 or what the Pixel 4a might come with, or if the Pixel 4a 5G is even a thing. So let me get back into chat here. We'll have a discussion and, kind of see what your thoughts are and talk about it. So, real quick, I see a Brian with the $1 super chat. Brian, thank you so much, man. Thank you for the support. As always, you and Levin are stepping up with that extra support. So Brian, thank you so much, man. Also, welcome to the stream. Nice to have you. Okay, so let me scroll back up. There's a lot of chat in here, so let's see what you guys have to say. Paul says, you're not in the USA when you hear a commercial on the radio for a P40 Pro and an hour later for the P30. I didn't know they were making commercials for it. I'll have to see if I can find those. Mike says, always wait. The true value of the product shows after a few months sitting on the shelves, not selling. That's a great point, Mike. I like that. That's very well said. Team Verizon says Google has a lot to make up for with regards to the marketing for the 4A. It's been so late. It really has. Mike says Nord selling in the US, next unicorn. Yeah, which is the bigger unicorn though? I think the 4A is still the bigger unicorn because we know nothing about it at this point. Six says, I won't quote that. I'll just screen record it. I don't know what I said, Six, but thank you. You are the king of screen recording any gaffes I probably made or something I said. But Six, welcome, man. Welcome. Big House is in here as well. Afternoon, everybody. What's going on? What's going on, Big House? Welcome to the stream. Nice to have you, man. Team Verizon says, as long as the 4A comes with a headphone jack, and I'm pretty sure it would, right? Unless they really want to push the Pixel Buds and then they won't allow that, or they wouldn't add it. Who knows? Mike says, we here in the US, we're screwed now. OnePlus knows more to the story. Nord is never coming here. The carriers are strong arming the OEMs. Yeah, I can see that. Yesterday's news, unlocked market will be dead. So no Nord for me. And kind of to like add on to what Mike is saying, it's the conversation I had yesterday. We talked about how AT&T is, they're phasing out 2G and 3G, which makes sense. I get that. But T-Mobile also talked about how they were going to phase out a lot of phones that don't provide voice over LTE. If the phone doesn't have voice over LTE, apparently that phone will not be usable under T-Mobile. Does that mean now that my Huawei P40 Pro Plus, which I don't even know if it supports voice over LTE, am I not going to be able to use it anymore? For someone like me, and I'm sure a lot of people in this chat, we buy phones unlocked. I think a lot of us buy phones unlocked because we don't want to be tied to a carrier. We just want to buy the phones outright, and we don't want to be stuck to any kind of loyalty to a specific like telecom industry or whatever. But what does that mean for the unlocked market here in the US, especially when telecoms are starting to do stuff like that? I'm genuinely asking because I don't know what kind of impact that's going to have for us in the near future. I don't want to go to a T-Mobile store, an AT&T store, a Verizon store, and be like, hey, what kind of phones do you have available? Because I know only these phones will work for that carrier and only this carrier. And now I'm tied to that specific carrier with your specific carrier bloatware, with your specific carrier logo on the phone that I don't want unless I buy an iPhone. You see where I'm going with this. And I don't know if this is the direction that the US is maybe forcing us towards, because they know they can, because they know that nobody is stopping them from doing that. It's going to be a really tough battle if that's what they're going to do. Like I'll tell you right now, if so apparently voice over LTE on phones needs to be applicable by January 2021 for T-Mobile. If I cannot use unlocked phones, like an unlocked Huawei phone, an unlocked Xiaomi or Realme or whatever, if I can't use one of them in the States, or not in the States, but if, like, for example, if I cannot use my P40 Pro Plus on T-Mobile or whatever other imported phones I have, I'm going to look for a new carrier, because I'm not going to just bow down and be like, yep, okay, T-Mobile, let me go to your store and let me buy the phones that you have in there, because that's I don't roll that way. I don't know if all other carriers will do that, if all MVNOs will do that as well, but hopefully that won't be the case. I have been with T-Mobile for, I think, over a decade at this point. My phone bill with the data and talk and text and whatever, after taxes, I pay less than, I think, I pay less than $22 a month. I think I paid like 21, 23 after taxes total for one line. I have two lines because it's that cheap. I am willing to give that up if T-Mobile will take away certain phones from me. I mean, they're physically not taking it away from my hands, but you know what I'm saying. They're and like the way Mike said it is, they're kind of strong arming you into a position where it's like, nope, you got to buy what we have, and that's the only choice you have. And that is not a world I want to live in. And I'm not just talking about phones. This goes with like everything. This is like strong arming us with the internet, right? Having one or two or maybe three max different internet service providers we can pick from. It's that kind of stuff that, like, I don't want to be strong armed into, and I'm always trying to find ways out of it. That's why I don't do any streaming, because I don't want to pay 8 different like companies to stream, one or two shows. I'm trying to like be the budget. I say budget friendly consumer, trying to share that info, but then I'm also here talking about a $1,300 phone. So I'm picking and choosing my battles here. So, okay, let's see. Let me scroll down. Oh, guys, hopefully you guys are doing well today. Big House says, I got tired of waiting for Google and the Nord, so I pre-ordered the Motorola Edge. You did? I mean, I still think that's going to be a really decent phone at the $500 price point. The one thing that surprised me was when somebody left a comment on my Motorola Edge clip video and said it's not the Snapdragon 765G, it's just the Snapdragon 765. But I don't think, Big House, I'm sure the difference is going to be negligible. I mean, would I still want the 765G over the 765? Sure. But that was something I didn't think about. I had no idea that. But still, at a $500 price point, you're going to have to tell me how good that phone is. So does it ship on the 31st of July? Do you know when that's actually arriving? Did they tell you? Or did you just have to pre-order it before the 31st of July? I'm not sure when expected delivery is for that. Can you let me know? I'm actually curious. Okay. Starting some shit. What's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a minute. Welcome. Yes. If the rumors are true, why would anyone bother with the Pixel 4a when you could have the Pixel 4a 5G? I agree. I mean, here's the thing. The only reason that somebody would get the Pixel 4a, I think, is one, they don't have enough money, which, like, I have to respect. Two, if they don't want a bigger phone, like a bigger display. Otherwise, yeah, the Pixel 4a 5G makes a lot more sense. People who were saving for the Pixel 4a will have money in October. for the 5G. I mean, that's a fair enough point. I mean, the thing is though too is like you got to think that maybe some people have a cap when it comes to buying a phone. Perfect example. So for those that don't know, I am moving August 1st. I'm moving into a new apartment and I gave myself a cap. I said I am paying no more than $900 a month for my apartment. Yes, I could have probably spent a little more. I could have probably spent even maybe upwards to like 950 or whatever, but I told myself, nope, 900 is your cap. And maybe that's how some people are on their phones too. Maybe they don't want to spend more than $400 for a phone and that's their cap. I get it though. Sometimes it's like just save the extra 25 bucks. Like for me, I could have just spent another $25 and I would have had the apartment with the better kitchen in it. But I was like, nah, I don't need it. I don't need it. So I don't know, just different priorities for other people. Okay. Anyway, starting some shit. Welcome to the stream, man. Nice to have you. Nice to have you. Gboy888 is here as well. What's up, y'all? Just left the thumbs up. Thank you so much, Gboy888. I need dual speakers on the Nord. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Dual speakers. Totally forgot about that as well. I keep forgetting about that point, and that's such a huge point too, is the Nord doesn't have dual speakers. And for a lot of people who want to have that experience, like keep that in mind as well. I keep forgetting about that. Thank you for reminding me. Paul says, I keep saying it. It'll be 5 Lite, 5 and 5 XL, or Pro, or Plus, or Ultra, or T. I think you might be right, Paul, on maybe one of those accounts. Starting says you can buy the Nord from Indian retailers online. There you go. Brian says, whoa, big move. Yeah, to buy that Edge for sure. For sure. Big House also says, yeah, Brian, great deal in my opinion, with it being reduced with pre-order from $700 to $500. I think for a $500 price point, it is legit. And I say that, and I kind of like now reinforce that price point because it's $500 with 256 gigs of internal storage. I think if it was 128 gigs of internal storage, I would kind of hesitate a bit, but at $500, 256 gigs of internal storage, I think that's a great buy for sure. Tony Kim, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Anyone else feel OnePlus was a bit misleading with their marketing with the Nord, like saying it was developed all on its own in 6 months? I wish people were more critical with buying decisions. I totally feel you, man. I was still never really on board with this whole drama thing that they were putting out with the OnePlus Nord and all the hype behind it. I think at the price point, I think at a $400 price point, it's a great deal if you can get it for that price. And when I say $400, I'm talking about 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of internal storage. I'm not talking about the 6 gig RAM, 64 gig internal storage version. That one's $379 though in India, and I think that's a great price. But yeah, at the $400 price point or around the $400 price point, I think it's a good buy. I just didn't care for all of the, however that whole marketing thing is. I just didn't care for it. I don't know. I think at this point, I'm just looking at it on paper and being like, okay, this is at least a good deal here. I can respect that. I didn't need all like the hoopla behind it. Tony says, I hate bloatware. I think a lot of us do. I don't know. Maybe some people feel differently, but it's not for me. Okay. Team Fry says, Jerome, time to go to PayG. PayG? What's PayG? What? Oh, are you telling me to move elsewhere? Maybe. Tony says, holy crap, what plan do you have, Jerome? I pay $81 after discounts and fees on AT&T for my one line. Yeah. So real quick, just an FYI, I am grandfathered into this plan that me and a couple buddies made a long time ago. And right now we have a 20-person plan, 20-person plan. 2140, it's like $21.43 or something, or $21.23 or something, I think is what we pay after taxes per person. And the way it works is like we just got grandfathered in. Also, I have a friend who was a firefighter. No, who is a firefighter, he was part of CPD, Chicago Police Department, so he gets a discount on top of that as well. And we just get like this killer deal. And the way we had it done was like, hey, anyone who wants to pay this much money, you can pay it. but as soon as you miss a payment, then we're going to completely drop you. And because the price is so good, nobody has missed a payment. Everyone has paid their phone bill on time. And why wouldn't you? Wouldn't you pay your phone bill on time if you were able to get that plan for 21 bucks? Yeah, I never run out of data. We've had it for a long time. That's one of the reasons. So anyway, CH Gadgets, what's good, peeps? CH Gadgets, welcome to the stream. Have I seen you in here before? I don't know if I have, but if I have, I'm sorry, but welcome either way. Welcome, man. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so let's see here. Brian says that's what's good about iPhones. Unlock. Yeah, you don't have to worry about like, did the carrier put something on it? Did the carrier lock it for some reason? Did Verizon put their stupid logo on the back of my phone that I don't want to see, because I do not care about Verizon putting their branded shit on my phone. I'm sorry. It makes me so mad when I think about Verizon that way. Tony says, yeah, if you open your eyes, Apple makes great products and had the support to back it up. Right. Or has the support. Big House says, yes, Jerome, it ships on the 31st. That's awesome. I'll keep you updated. Please do. Please do. Jay Smith, what's going on, Jay Smith? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Before I got my cell phone, I used a tin can and a long string. Yeah, me too. That's kind of how I lived my life at the beginning. Jay Smith, what's going on, man? Welcome. Okay, let me see. Brian says, Jay Smith, I feel that is more secure these days. You're probably not wrong. Has to be. Okay, so Parth Gupta. Parth, what's going on, man? Welcome. I haven't seen you in a minute. Finally, it's good to be back. Welcome back. Brian says Pagey is pay as you go. There you go. That's right. My bad. Thank you, guys. AKA prepaid. No, you're good. Tony says, haha, I missed my $15 dealer plan when I sold my T-Mobile in the mid 2000s. Yeah. To think that you pay 81 bucks, it's a lot of money for a phone. I mean, not only that, but the 21 bucks I pay on my other line, I write it off as a business expense. So I still get a little more discounts on top of that as well. So, okay. Anyway, guys, let's, before I continue on to the next story really quick, for anyone in the stream, please hit that like button. I know that sounds cheesy and I hate saying it, but it is a way to support my channel. So please, if you get a chance, hit that like button. If you are not a subscriber, please consider being a subscriber. I do stream weekdays, Mondays through Fridays at 2 p.m. Central. So hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification if you want to get notified of when I stream. I'm like shaking my head because it's just so cringy to say, but it is a way to support. So I do appreciate it, guys. Thank you guys so much. And last but not least, if you see people in the chat with green in their name, if you see a red Chicago star next to their name, that is it. Oh, that was a flub there. That is because they are part of the Phone Jerome fam. Geez, that was really bad. And you could be part of that fam too for as little as 99 cents a month. All you got to do is click that join button. You'll get the red Chicago star next to your name. You'll get to use custom emoji, and you'll get your name in every single one of my intros and outros to my live streams. If you can't find that blue button, you can go to youtube.com/phone Jerome /join. At the end of the day, it's just a way to support, guys. I know times are tough, so I understand if you can't do that. Liking, subscribing, sharing my stuff, I think is just another way to support. So just by doing that, I thank you guys so much. So let's go ahead. Let's continue on. Let's go into the rest of the stories here. I don't know what I want to talk about. I might mix it up a little bit. So let's switch this up. Let's talk about Gorilla Glass. There's I guess a new version of Gorilla Glass right now. This article from Android Authority says Gorilla Glass Victus brings 2-meter drop protection, double scratch resistance. Okay, I am from the US. How big is 2 meters? Because we're so backwards here that we don't use the proper terminology. 2 meters drop protection. Gorilla Glass maker Corning typically only announces a new iteration of its device protection glass every couple years. These announcements historically occur when a major breakthrough is achieved. These typically occur in either scratch resistance or drop protection, the twin pillars of mobile glass, but never both. Corning's latest glass, Gorilla Glass Victus, achieves significant improvements on both critical fronts at the same time, a first in the company's history. In short, Gorilla Glass Victus promises 2-meter drop protection and doubles the scratch resistance of Gorilla Glass 6. This is big. So what about Gorilla Glass 7? In a briefing, Corning's VP of Technology and Product Development, didn't want to comment on the fate of Gorilla Glass 7, preferring to focus instead on Victus's simultaneous advances. He said that at Corning, the feeling was that successfully tackling both problems at the same time warranted a new name to set it apart from all that had come before it. Okay, so better drop protection, better scratch protection. As a self-confessed glass nerd, I was intrigued to know what revolutionary new production process or previously unheard of materials afforded such a major breakthrough. The answer: hard work and over a decade of smart people doing smart things, not as exciting perhaps as a new mineral found in an asteroid or developments in nanotechnology, but much more pragmatic. Okay, so I'm just trying to see like the details and how it's gotten better. Corning has been focusing on drop protection and thinness for the last several years in response to consumers and manufacturers' demands. Scratch protection had for several years been deemed good enough. Now that consumers are holding onto phones for longer, scratch resistance is back on the list of priorities. Rather than just switch its focus to the other side of the coin, Corning decided to tackle both scratch and drop at the same time. So let's see how strong it is. So Gorilla Glass 6 can survive multiple drops from 1.6 meters and provides baseline scratch resistance. This level of scratch resistance has remained pretty much unchanged since Gorilla Glass 3. According to Corning, so Victus can withstand multiple drops from a height of 2 meters, and then Victus offers 2 times the scratch resistance of Gorilla Glass 6 and 4 times the resistance of competitors' aluminosilicate glasses. Okay, so yes, better. I don't really want to like, this is very nerdy and I don't know if I want to get into the nerdiness of it. I'm more wondering when this is going to be coming out. So versus Sapphire, apparently I know Sapphire is supposedly very strong. So it says here, scratches comparatively easily compared to Gorilla Glass using the industry standard Noop diamond test. According to Amin, Sapphire typically scratches under a diamond pick at 1 or 2. This is due to its synthetic crystalline structure, which scratches typically appearing along the planes of the crystals. This is too nerdy for me to really like go through. Interestingly, Corning's press release states that consumers are willing to pay a premium for better durability. Knowing Victus's pricing, we'll just have to wait and see if manufacturers bump their prices, citing, quote, improved durability. The proof is in the pudding, so we'll reserve judgment for now, but if you're due an upgrade and Victus is everything Corning claims it is, your next phone might just last the distance. But who knows how long that's going to be? I don't think they're even talking about when they would do that. Okay. All right. So anyway, let me go back into chat here. CH Gadget says, yeah, bro, I've been on here before. Well, I'm sorry about that, CH. Welcome, though. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thanks to Grant who put me on. And thank you, Grant. Wherever you are, Grant, thank you so much. No, welcome, CH Gadgets. Tony says, hello, Jerome. What's going on, Tony? What's up? Did someone say Apple? Did I say Apple? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't even know if I have a story on Apple. Oh, yeah, I do. I don't know if I'm going to get to it today, though. Anyway, welcome, Tony. What's going on, man? Paul says, I feel like I'm poking the beast by saying I pay €14, $16 monthly for 5 gigs of data and 100 minutes of calling. Well, here's the thing, Paul, is like, no, that's great. I'm glad that you're able to get that price, especially like if you're not even using all those minutes. I mean, you know, like I don't even use 100 minutes anymore, but yeah, I pay the $21 for it is unlimited text and talk, and I get, I believe it's 10 gigs of rollover data. At one point, we had unlimited data for like 2 or 3 years. T-Mobile just decided to give unlimited data for a while, and I don't know if that still applies, but that 10 gig rollover is more than enough for, I think, all of us on our plans. I don't think any of us are even touching anything more than that. Big House says, Victus is going to be nice. Yeah. I wonder when the next phones are going to have that. Tony Kim says 6 feet. Is that what 2 meters is? 6 feet? Yeah, 2 meters is 6 feet, if I remember correctly. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Paul says Deepak conversion call. Yeah, is Deepak here today? I don't think he's here today. And Team Verizon says, and here I am chilling with my Gorilla Glass 3 devices. I don't think most people really notice unless their phone actually breaks or scratches and they're like, damn it, I wish I had, such and such. Tony says, yeah, US market bends us over for data prices. Yes, they do. For sure they do. Let me see here. Tony says, I bet Victus is going to be expensive. Big House also says, yes, Tony Kim, no Vaseline for sure. Those words sound like a Harry Potter spell. Paul says, Jerome solemnly swears he's up to no good. CH Gadget says, new Gorilla Glass translates to more expensive phones. Yeah. Combine this with a new Snapdragon 800 series, slap on this Gorilla Glass, slap on a periscope telephoto lens, and now we're talking $2,000 phones. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. All right. So let's go ahead and let's move on. I do have this story with the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro. I don't know much about this phone. I am sure I've talked about it at one point or another. I'm sure it's maybe even been a headline on one of my streams, but Anantech did a review, and I figure we might as well take some time and see what the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro is all about, what it has, and if it's worth the price, and if it's even something that's available to use in the States. Maybe it is for Europe. Maybe, I'm sure it is in Asia. I'm assuming it's usually marketed for Asian markets, but I don't know where else it's going to be available. So amongst the many flagship devices released in the first half of the year, one often overlooked device was Xiaomi's Mi 10 series. The company's leading Snap 865 phones were released quite early on, but were largely overshadowed by other competitor devices, with the phone not having official US carrier support or releases also playing a big role. So even if it doesn't have official US carrier support, I think some of the bands are still available to use here in the States. In Europe and other markets, Xiaomi is an increasingly important player and is quickly filling in the gap that's being left by Huawei. Today, we're having a closer look at the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro, how the phone stacks up against the competition, and especially how the phone's camera system is unlike any other on the market. So it has an 865 chipset, right, which is one of the best chipsets right now, other than the 865 Plus, which is, on the rise now, going to be in the Asus ROG Phone 3, the Legion phone from Lenovo, and I'm sure other future phones coming out. So a Snap 865, 8 gigs of RAM, a 90 hertz refresh rate, AMOLED screen, a 47 100 milliamp hour battery for the Mi 10, and the Mi 10 Pro is a 4500 milliamp hour battery with 50 watt charging, so even faster than my Huawei P40 Pro Plus. It has a main 108 megapixel shooter, a telephoto lens, an extra telephoto lens. Okay. So the non-pro version doesn't even have either of those. This has a 2x optical and a 5x optical, an ultra wide camera. Okay, so the Pro doesn't have a depth camera or a macro camera. It does have 256 gigs of internal storage. And then the price for it is, wow. Okay, so it's pretty pricey. €1,000. The non-pro version you can get with 128 gigs of internal storage for €800 and 256 gigs of internal storage for €900. So it's still a pretty penny to pay for this phone. So LPDDR5 as far as RAM in here. So they're talking about the design. I'm not really going to get into all of this. So a lot of this, like, it looks like, what a lot of phones look like today. A lot of the phones have very similar aesthetics, same kind of look, same kind of camera setup. I know there's only so much you can do when it comes to metal and glass, right? So the camera setup is quite special for the Pro. So Samsung's 108 megapixel camera sensor. Optics wise, it uses this f1.69 aperture. ultra wide models or ultra wide modules, a 20 megapixel f2.2 aperture unit. It's very welcome to see higher resolution ultra wide angle modules as it helps give more detail to the wider captured scene. I think that's what phones are going to start doing in the future as well. They're going to have these ultra wide lenses on them, but the optics in it are going to be a lot better than what we have right now in the 11 Pro and other cameras so far. I believe the Huawei P40 Pro has a decent ultra wide, but I haven't had time yet to really test it out. So it says here, what's special about the Mi 10 Pro's camera setup beyond its main sensor is its telephoto modules, which is what is the main driving point to the Huawei P40 Pro Plus versus just the Huawei P40 Pro is the 10 times optical telephoto lens on this P40 Pro Plus. So it says here, instead of opting for the more exotic, quote, periscope-based prism optics modules that we've seen from Huawei or the S20 Ultra, Xiaomi instead opts to use two dedicated classical optics modules at different focal lengths. Okay, and I'm sure they're going to talk about the math behind it, but I'm not really going to get into that right now. A further area the Mi 10 phones differentiate themselves in is the speaker setup. Okay, interesting. Unlike any other vendor which uses a primary main bottom speaker in tandem with a smaller earpiece speaker, Xiaomi this time around actually features two full range speakers. Oh, that's great. I'm happy to see that. On both the top and bottom of the phone with speaker grills holes for both units. Oh, so they have one right at the top. Why don't other phones do that? I would love to see that. You know, that's again what I complain about my P40 Pro Plus is there is no earpiece at the top. So I only have one mono speaker firing at the bottom. That's interesting. Okay, the speaker drivers on both sides are identical, which is essentially unique in a smartphone. That's pretty cool. This allows the Mi 10 to have exceptionally good sound output and basically wipes the floor with any other device on the market right now. It's something you have to personally experience to really appreciate. I'm glad they're doing something like that. Maybe other phone manufacturers can pick up on that. I would love that. Again, I've said this many times. I'm someone who loves great external speakers on a device. One, because yes, I know I can probably buy a Bluetooth speaker and use that instead, but why would I want to carry something like that all the time when I can just have a phone that has great speakers out the gate, right? Then I don't have to buy anything extra and I can use it for, you know, just like my personal use, but I can also use it if in a pinch when I don't have to carry a speaker or whatever, and the speakers are just going to be good enough for that particular event or whatever I'm using it for. Minus points for the Mi 10 are the lack of any water resistance certification, as well as the lack of a 3.5mm headphone jack. There's a lot of stuff in here, but we're already rounding out the hour, so I'm not going to get into everything today. Maybe it's something we can kind of circle back if it's really that interesting. But I do want to talk about the camera just to see how good it is. God, Nantech is so good at having such a varied like test of everything they do. Am I not able to go through this? Anyway, I don't even think I'm really going to get into all of this right now, but it looks like they're saying it's not bad in terms of low light photography. The Mi 10 Pro actually fares extremely well thanks to the hardware process of the main camera sensor. That's great. Overall, the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro's camera let me somewhat disappointed. Whilst on paper, the hardware of the phone is outstandingly good, Xiaomi did extremely well in designing a unique dual telephoto module. I feel that the phone could have done much better than what it ends up presenting. So let's just see what they have to say at the end here. In terms of design, the phone is quite a departure from its predecessors, and Xiaomi was able to substantially improve its build quality, which is great. It's quite contemporary design in the sense that it's another glass sandwich with curved corners and edges, but that's just the natural, most ergonomic design. Xiaomi does this one well. Okay, let me just get to the bottom here. Overall, is it worth it? It depends on the price. There's no bad products, just bad prices. I like that. That's actually a nice saying. I never thought about that. No bad products, just bad prices. At the launch MSRP of 999 euro. The 10 Pro, I think, certainly wouldn't be worth the price. Yeah, especially considering the competition, as there's other better alternatives out there, such as the OnePlus 8 Pro. Currently, the Mi 10 Pro, however, does go for around 760 euro, which is something a lot more reasonable and represents quite a fair price for the phone, with its cameras really being the only big weaknesses. Okay. For users who don't care too much about the more expensive camera setup, instead of the Mi 10 Pro, they can simply choose the regular Mi 10. This variant retains everything the Pro variant has except for the 2 telephoto modules, a weaker ultra-wide camera, and a weaker ultra-wide camera. This variant currently, as of writing, can be had for a super low price of 563 euro, which is actually worth considering that you're not losing anything else. A pretty incredible good value deal, which I would be able to recommend easily. So there you go. That is the Mi 10 Pro. I think for me, the biggest thing I got out of it was the speaker setup. I like for me, I love dual front firing, stereo speakers, but I'll take a speaker on the top and the bottom with big drivers in it. I'll take that over what I have right now on my Huawei P40 Pro Plus, which is just one bottom firing speaker. I'll take it over my Pixel 4 and my iPhone 11 Pro with a main speaker at the bottom and a, like that tweeter speaker where the earpiece is. I'd rather take 2 full speakers than just one, or one with a tweeter at the top. I don't know. I want to now that my P40 Pro Plus, now that I only have one mono speaker, I do miss the dual speaker setup. That is the biggest gripe I think I have on the phone right now. Bigger than not having Google services. And I'm honest about that. My bigger gripe with the P40 Pro Plus right now is just having one speaker. Okay, so let me go back into chat here. Let me see what you guys have to say. Okay. Big House says Xiaomi. Right. Xiaomi makes good value devices. Interesting how, despite being a Chinese company, they're not getting the same treatment as Huawei. That's why there's I've said this before. I think Huawei, really, their only crime is being a gigantic company that could have taken over the 5G infrastructure. And because the US had no profit in that, they decided to shoot them in the knee or put an arrow in the knee. Someone said that. Someone said it better than I said it. So I'm saying what someone said in chat, whoever said it. Big House says they do, Team Variety. I own 4 of them. Big House, you are crazy with all these phones. I need you to take a picture of all your phones and then send me a shot of everything you own. Okay, so yeah, Brian's saying Xiaomi is going up in price. Realme is the new budget brand, I feel now. Yeah, Tony says those dual speakers sound dope. I would totally rock that. I wish God, I wish they would have done that to my Huawei. I hate that my Huawei is only a mono speaker. Brian says, but I haven't heard of any complaints with Xiaomi. There you go. Team Verizon says, I have the low-end Snap 439 Redmi 8A, not the fastest out there, but man, the 5,000 milliamp hour battery is great for Netflix, Spotify binges. That is a huge battery. Big House says Xiaomi mostly comes with bands 2 and 4 for the US. Bands 12 and 17 would be great, but I'm good for now. Thank you for sharing. Actually, those are something that's something I need to know. I need to know which works in the US and what is compatible with other phones like Xiaomi and Huawei and all that kind of stuff. Oddweight Sharma is in here. Hey Jerome, what's going on, Oddweight? Nice to see you. Welcome to the stream. Sorry you're in a little late, but welcome anyway. Hashtag replay, just in case. Okay, Oddway says you'll stream tomorrow. No, it's Saturday tomorrow. That's my day off. It's really not my day off. I still edit video and do other stuff, but it is a day off I take from streaming. Vizikos, what's going on, Vizikos? Huawei ban encouraged Qualcomm to raise prices, and by extension, Xiaomi not having competition in flagship killer market significantly raised their prices as well as since the Mi 9. Thank you for sharing that feedback. That's something that I'll have to keep in mind as well. Huawei completely getting like in a way they're getting like shadow banned, not shadow banned, but they're getting put down to their knees. Having this happen is affecting these other companies, and they're taking advantage of that, and it's taking competition out, and it is not the way things should be. And for me, I feel like they are using this threat to secure, or threat to our national security and all this kind of stuff, as an excuse to continue what they're doing. Anyway, Vizikos, welcome to the stream. Thank you for that feedback. Appreciate that. Team Verizon says, Jerome, AnandTech is up there with Notebook Check when it comes to in-depth reviews. They really are. Sometimes I don't pull the AnandTech articles just because there's so much to talk about. And as nerdy as I get, I don't want to spend an hour talking about the very nitty gritty things like that, because I feel like that's something that I do already on my own. And I feel like I can do that on my own in a succinct way, maybe without going into all that detail. And I'm not saying it's bad. For me, it's just a little too much. But also for me, if I need to know something in depth, at least I know I have AnandTech to like check their site, go into it, and really see how they feel and what they have to say about things. But I agree with you. Will, I was going to say Will D. I never say Will D. Will, what's going on, man? What's up? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Nice to have you. Nice to have you. Sorry, we're rounding out the stream for the day, but appreciate you stopping by. There you go. Brian saying, everyone check out Friday Night Tech Talk tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, please do. Unfortunately, I will not be on tonight. I have a meeting with a client, so I'm not going to be able to attend that, but please check those guys out. Check out Will, check out Mike, Joker Tech. He was on here earlier today. Check out George, Mobile Geezer. Check out Ted Talks. They have a great Friday night stream. I don't know who's hosting it. I believe it might be Mike, but look for those guys if you are looking for another stream tonight. They do an excellent job. Okay, so let me see here. Oddweight says, does he stream elsewhere? Who else streams elsewhere? Me? I do have another channel that I stream on, but I haven't really had time to do that. If I do, I'll let you guys know. But lately, I'm not streaming anywhere else unless you're talking about Friday Night Tech Talk, which I've already explained. So, oh, that's probably what you mean, because Brian was shouting those guys out. Yeah, no, Brian will shout other guys out, and he's feel free. I let him, like, these are great guys, and like I support them 100%. So that's why he's shouting them out. Let me see here. Paul says, but manufacturers never take good things like alert slider. Yeah, I don't know why no one else has done an alert slider. I don't know why people aren't doing dual front facing stereo speakers. I don't know why a lot of companies aren't doing a lot of things. Like, where's my LED notification light? I still want that back. Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Big House. Get a Moto Edge, Jerome. Dual speakers. I can't buy another phone. I don't have money for another phone. After buying my Huawei P40 Pro Plus, I don't have the money for it. But if I did, I would. If I wasn't getting an apartment next month, I probably would as well. But I can't. I gotta like be very picky at this point about what I'm buying and what I'm not buying. D-Order, what's going on, man? I don't think I've seen you before. Those dual speakers sound really good. I would love to try it out. I have a Mi 10 Pro. There is also a lot of bass. Well, there you go. Someone here with the device who is actually sharing their experience. Thank you so much, D-Order, for sharing that for a phone, that is. I can only imagine. I wish I had that device just to see how good those speakers are. That is something that one of the reasons I love my Nexus 6P, my super old Nexus 6P, is because of those speakers. That was something that I genuinely appreciated out of like against many of my other phones. Anyway, D-Order, welcome to the stream. Big House says, I'll hit you on IG, Jerome. Yeah, do that. Appreciate it, man. Let me see here. Starting says Pum Day. Where is that from? Am I missing the point there? I feel like I miss out on a lot of stuff. I really do. Okay, let me, Saturday equals Pum Day. What? Meeting equals entangle. Okay, Anyway, um, Big House with a $5 super chat. Big House, thank you so much, man. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the continued support as well. You guys are always so generous. You guys are always so supportive. I cannot thank you guys enough. Appreciate it. Thank you. Big House with the $5 super chat. Apartment fund. Thank you, man. I will use that wisely. I will use that to pay rent. Thank you, Big House. Thank you so much for the support. Brian says here, I don't know why they don't just use a portion of the AMOLED screen to be the notification LED. I don't know why either. I love that thing. It was one of my favorite things, and I would still use it today if I could. They'll never bring it back. I really don't think they will. Tectonic, hi. What's going on, Tectonic? Welcome to the stream. Sorry, you're a bit late in here, man. But hashtag replay. Appreciate you stopping by and saying what's up. Salwonk says, I loved my Nexus 6 Shamu. Me too. That's why I still have it. One of my favorite phones of all time, and that's why I'm never getting rid of it. So anyway, with that being said, guys, I think that is going to be it for today. The hour is up. I have editing to do. I still have some stuff to film. Hopefully I can get that out today. And I have a meeting with someone tonight. So that is going to be it for today, for the week. Guys, I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Thank you guys so much for the likes. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button. If you haven't, please do so. It is a way to support me. I do want to thank all of my Patreon members. I want to thank all of my YouTube members. If you don't get a chance to do that, please feel free to take a look. You can hit that blue join button if you want to be part of the Phone Jerome fam. But I want to thank also everyone today for the super chats. Guys, thank you always for the continued support. I know I say the same thing almost every time I stream, but really it means a lot to me. It helps offset costs. It helps me continue what I'm doing. And it helps me remind me why I quit my full-time job, why I do this, because I really enjoy what I do and I want to continue to keep doing that. And in a lot of ways, I can't do it without you guys. So thank you so much. Otherwise, I will be back on Monday, 2 p.m. Central. Guys, come back. We're going to do it all over again. We're going to talk tech. We're going to read the news. We're going to talk and chat. Say hi to everyone, say what's up. Otherwise, I think that's it. I see a couple chats here, so I will, hold on, I'm getting the outro set up. I will go through this real quick before I say bye. Team Bry says, dang, 2 more days before the next Joe Fi. It's all good, man. Do your thing for the weekend. We're going to do it all over on Monday. Ted is in here as well. Great hour, Jerome. Ted, thank you so much. Guys, also check Ted out. Check Mike, Will, George for Friday Night Tech Talk. They do a great job. It's more content to have in the evening. So otherwise, like Big House says, have a great weekend. You too, everybody, have a great weekend. Bye, Jerome Holmes. That's a good way to end it. Tectonic, thanks, man. Bye, everyone. Have a good one. Let me hit the play button. Oh, well, that's not what I wanted. I'm trying to multitask here. Here comes the transition. Bye, guys. Have a good one. See you Monday.